It is a beautiful, glorious sunny day in the English countryside here, and I thought what better video to do than the perfect English tea. And I thought, as it's such a beautiful day, let's do it outside rather than inside. Afternoon tea is a great tradition. It's been around in Britain since the 1840s, and it is such a special occasion. I've just recently had some pottery from Burley, which I'm so excited about. I'm actually wearing a blue and white chinoiserie skirt. This one's by Suzanne. I thought we'd start with dressing the table, and I'll show you how I do that. So let's get started. But before we start today's video, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsor, who is MACH. They've sent us their V1 Ultra, and I'm going to showcase how easy it is to use by cleaning the floors of my entrance hall. The MACH V1 Ultra is an all-in-one cordless stick vac with steam mop. You can clean wet and dry messes and use steam to melt stubborn stains easily at the same time. It has a triple self-cleaning, so it efficiently self-cleans, disinfects and dries completely. One of the things that really impressed me when I was using the V1 Ultra is how quickly the steam and the moisture on the floor dries. I've got young children, I want to make sure that they're safe at all times, so I wouldn't want slippery floors, but the technology in the V1 Ultra ensures that the floors dry really quickly. It removes 99% of bacteria with no additional disinfectant required, so it's safe for kids and pets. The fact it's cordless makes it so easy and convenient to use, and as a busy mum, when I might just have a quick 10 minutes that I want to steam clean the floor in here, I can just easily get it out and clean the floor in no time at all. This product has won both the Red Dot Design Award and the IF Design Award. The V1 Ultra is so minimalist and futuristic, I feel like it would fit well into almost any interior. MACH designed the water tank using the principle of optical refraction, which can visually hide internal structures, such as water pipes, to maintain an overall transparent, minimalist style. One of my pet peeves with products like this is if they arrive with really lengthy instructions that I just don't have time to read. So I was delighted when I was unboxing it to see how quick and easy it was to put together, and that the instructions really are brief and just there as a backup in case you need some help. I managed to put it together in literally minutes, filled it up with water, put the floor cleaner in, and you're ready to go. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to MACH for sponsoring today's video and sending me the V1 Ultra. It's been an absolute pleasure to use. Cleaning my hard floors is no longer a chore, and it looks beautiful while I'm doing it. So for me, the starting point of dressing any beautiful table always starts with the tablecloth. And I personally love to use a patterned one. I think it adds a lot more interest and layers up your table. A great way to do this, if you want to get a unique tablecloth, is actually to buy some fabric. So this fabric is from my collection with Andrew Martin. It's from the Woodland collection, and I'll put the link in the description box. So for this table, I think I needed 4 meters because it's a very long table. And then I've added a little border on the edge because this comes 1.40 meter wide, and I just needed a little bit more because I love a tablecloth that has a good drape on the side. There's nothing worse than a tablecloth that just literally covers the end of the table. It's much more opulent and looks much more luxurious to have it drape and carry on down the sides. So that will be linked in our description box, and I picked this fabric because it's got a really subtle grey and white pattern on it, and I love how that kind of will fade into the background once the more strong pattern of the Burley pottery goes on top, but it just echoes that blue and white theme that we're going for. I'm really excited to use these chargers as well. This is the first time I've used them, and every time I have a dinner party I always think, oh, I really wish I had some chargers, because I think it's such a nice way to layer up your table. And with these ones, they're a beautiful rattan with the white and the taupe coming through. I love how they bring a slightly rustic element to the table, which I would equally use inside, but I think is especially appropriate for an outside lunch or dinner. I like to make sure that they're all equally spaced so that when you layer it up with your glasses and your cutlery, you don't have to adjust everything afterwards. I'm so thrilled to be using this pottery. I think I've shared on this channel before that when I love something, I take screenshots of it and I put it in my favourites folder. And I've had screenshots of this particular collection. It's the Regal Peacock from Burley, on my phone since 2020. I remember looking at it and thinking one day I'm going to have that collection. So I'm so excited. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It really pops outside where you can see all the detail. An interesting fact about Burley, so obviously we're doing an afternoon tea, which is a great British tradition and has been around since the 1840s. Burley has been around nearly almost as long. It started in 1850s, so I feel like there's a really nice connection. And also the afternoon tea started with the royal family. A friend of Queen Victoria started the tradition of afternoon tea because she felt it was too long between lunch and dinner, and so she wanted to have a little snack in between. And she invited Queen Victoria for afternoon tea, and then it became a big thing. So it's a very royal tradition, but also Burley has a lot of royal connections, and it's this particular design, the regal peacock, has been a firm favourite with the royal family ever since Queen Mary visited Harrods and saw this collection there. And actually King Charles also has several pieces from this collection. It's one of his favourites too. So it feels very British and very appropriate. So these particular plates have a hole in the middle, and that is because they are part of a cake stand. So now I'm going to attempt to assemble this. No pressure, because I'm not good at DIY, not that this is DIY. But I just thought how beautiful that would look as a centerpiece on the table, and then I'll lay all the cakes and sandwiches or whatever it is that I put or you want to put on your cake stand. Generally these stand in the middle of the table and they form part of the decor as well. This is actually surprisingly easy to assemble. I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little bit of anxiety about doing this on camera, but it's very straightforward and easy. And I love how the metal on this has kind of got a distressed feel as well, so it still feels very vintage. I think if it was a bright chrome it wouldn't look right, but it's a beautiful addition to the pottery. I love English summer. I actually never really want to travel that much when it's summer, like from May to September. It's the best time of the year in England, and I think the English summer is the best summer. It's not too hot, it's pleasant, and the garden looks beautiful. But this summer I'll be traveling a lot because I've got 2 projects finishing the Middle East, so I'm really making the most of June and July before I'm away. I'm actually really glad they're not that big either, because I was thinking, oh, 2 cake stands, that's going to be a lot of stuff to make or probably more likely buy. But they're a good size, so not so much pressure of filling them.
What are some of your favourite things to have and to eat?
I mean, I love a scone. Like, that is, if I could just eat scones all day long, that's what I would do. I'm not a massive fan of sandwiches. I can take or leave them. I do like coronation chicken. I think that's a great filling, and I could eat coronation chicken by itself. And obviously cakes are always nice, but the scone is what really gets me. I've been known to eat like 3 in a sitting. The only problem is like gluten and wheat don't agree with me that much. So when I was thinking about doing this video earlier on in the week, I was actually thinking maybe I should try and do like a healthy slant on the afternoon tea. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, I haven't got it figured out yet. Like, I'm doing the table dressing because that's my favourite bit, and I still have no idea what I'm going to serve. We're going to pop to the supermarket in a minute once the table's done and see what we fancy. One of my clients just sent me a podcast, and I'm going to share it in the link below because I've got terrible memory for names. The podcast is Feel Better, Live More. My client sent it to me at the end of a site visit. So we were just talking about how, like, at the end of your 30s, your metabolism slows down and you can get the rage. If there's any like perimenopausal women there watching this channel, you'll know what I mean. And she said that she'd been following this different like hacks of how to eat, and it made such a big difference to her, like how she was feeling and her energy levels. So I literally just started using it yesterday, and it's revolutionary. So easy. It's basically you change the order of your meal, what you eat, so you can eat exactly the same thing if you want to, but you should eat the vegetables first on your plate, then the protein, and then finally the carbs last. And the reason why that is because the vegetables will create a mesh lining to your stomach, which limits how much glucose your body can absorb from the carbohydrates when you eventually eat them. And I think by doing that you can limit your blood glucose levels by 30%, even like still eating the same things just by changing the order up. So I've started doing that. And then another little hack that she shared was to have vinegar, which I love vinegar anyway, but I've been having apple cider vinegar now literally 10 minutes before you have a meal, and that can also limit your blood glucose, still eating the same thing. And also to have a savoury breakfast, because if you start your day with sugar and something sweet, you'll just like go through this roller coaster of like blood sugar levels dropping, and then you want to eat some more sugar. By the way, we're filming out here today and I have a building site that side, a building site behind me, and now I have a leaf blower at the end of the garden. So excuse the background noise. Ollie will do what he can, but he can't perform miracles. So now I just thought, how cute would it be to have these little name place settings that are the birds. These are pheasants, which works so well with the peacock. So I'm going to put these out. Please don't come for me in the comments, by the way, if I lay the cutlery wrong. I do not claim to be an expert at this. I'm just trying my best. But these cute little birds are from a company called L'Objet. I got them probably about 4 or 5 years ago, so I'm not sure if they're still available, but I thought just in case any of you wanted them, that is where I got them from. So now I'm just putting the napkins in the napkin rings, and I've gone for a really rustic linen napkin, again because we're outside and I love how it works with the cotton tablecloth or the fabric, and it just lends a slightly more rustic feel to the crockery. And I think the napkin ring, this one is by a brand called Chilowich. I love that mix of formal and informal and elegant and rustic, and I do that in my interiors and everywhere, you know, place settings. If I'm dressing myself, I like to have like a high-low combo. Like I might go for like a beautiful piece of jewellery and then play it down with a t-shirt, or, you know, today I've got this lovely skirt from Suzanne on, and then just combine that with a vest top from Suzanne. I just like to not be too formal in everything. I'm just filling these gorgeous jugs from Burley with water, and then I'm going to repurpose this vase of flowers, just going to borrow it temporarily. It was in my haul, and put some of the flowers in each of these 3 jugs, and they work really well as using for little vases on your table. I like to keep my flowers quite low on the table so that it doesn't impede conversation. So I'm going to take a few of these. Don't really want to chop them down because they look like the perfect height in my vase. So having just said I like to keep the flowers low, you'll have to bear with me because they're going to be a bit higher than I would normally do. So I've now finished dressing the table and I'm really happy with how it looks. And we're about to head off to the supermarket. It's not all glamour around here at SPI, but before I do, I just thought I would show you what's arrived to me this week. This is the new artwork collection that we've launched with FROMENTAL. It's the oak leaf collection, and if you watched our palatial apartment part 2 video, you might recognize this wallpaper, because this is the wallpaper that we used in the primary bedroom. But as well as offering wallpapers, we've taken a few of the select designs that we've done with FROMENTAL over the years and made them available as artwork. It's a lot more accessible way to be able to buy these pieces. It's a lot more easy. You don't have to do elevations and worry about wall covering and installers. You can literally just buy it online and it will be delivered very quickly. So this is the large piece, and I'll just move this one so you can see the scale and the colours, and it's a beautiful realistic impression of the oak branch. You can see it's got the lovely browns and tans and then the really soft greens. I think people are often put off by green in their interiors and artwork because it's not one of those colours that you normally think of as a popular colour. But what I would say with the green here is we haven't gone for a really strong bright green like all the leaves you can see behind me. This is a much more muted, easy to use green that would sit really nicely in a neutral interior, and it makes a lovely accent colour. If you have a neutral interior and you wanted to use this in your room, a great way to sort of anchor this piece in would be to maybe take some of this soft celadon green and maybe have it as a cushion on one of your sofas or on your bed if it's in a bedroom. This piece works equally well in a living room, entrance hall or bedroom. And then we also decided to do it in a second colourway, and this was when I was designing the wall covering with FROMENTAL. We love the original colourway, but we also thought maybe we'd use it in a colourway that might be easier for some people if they don't like green. So here you can see we've gone for this sort of soft, almost like a taupe lilac coming through on this lovely neutral background. And again, that's available as a wall covering as well as the artwork. And they're all available in the big and the small. And you can buy them as a single, a double or a triptych. So I'll put the link in the description box, but I'm absolutely thrilled with how they've turned out. So the other exciting bit of news that I wanted to share with you guys, it hasn't launched yet, but imminently in July, we are launching not only a larger size of the frame, so this is our rattan collection that we did with Addison Ross, and we launched it in I think, October last year. It's consistently sold out, so we've had it available in this smaller size, and we're launching a much larger size. This is going to be the 8 by 10 inches. I think this is 5 by 7 inches. And also, and you can see behind me, they're going to be available in all the colours that we did the original collection in. Also, we are launching this new colourway, which I absolutely love. It's like an ivory colour, so easy to use in your interior. I think it looks so chic, the contrast between the bronze and the ivory rattan. So that will be available in the large and the small, so I'll pop the link in the description box. So now, on less exciting news, the things I do for you guys, I'm going to go to the supermarket. I hate going to the supermarket, but I'm going to go to the supermarket to buy some things to put on our beautiful table, because we don't just want to make it look pretty, we actually want to have an afternoon tea. I'm going to take you with me, and then we're going to sit down and eat some cake. We are in Waitrose buying the ingredients for our tea, and I'm trying to like balance what will look good for YouTube on our tiered cake stands. So I've got some scones. I really had high hopes of making some gluten-free ones, but I ran out of time. So I've got normal scones, and then I got these gorgeous, what are these called again? Macaroons. I got some gorgeous macaroons because they will look so pretty on the plate, and I will give those to everyone else afterwards. And then I'm trying to balance that with a few healthy things. So I've also got some melon slices and some carrot sticks that I'll do with hummus. And then I'm going to do some smoked salmon, and I'm trying to be gluten-free. So I've got some gluten-free loaf, but I think making that look like a nice tea sandwich might be a little bit challenging. So I've also got this sunflower seed bread, which I think is going to look really neat. And I've tried that before and it tastes really good. So I'm going to put that in that with some cream cheese. Like I said, I'm not a chef, so don't judge me. Don't come for me. We're in the jam section. Pick up some jam. Do you think it's sacrilegious to do raspberry jam with a scone? Does it have to be strawberry? It does, doesn't it? It needs to be strawberry.
Sacrilegious is the word.
This one. We'll go for this one. And I just picked up this tea as well. This is my favourite tea if you're having sugar cravings. I swear by this. The Pukka lemon, ginger and manuka honey tea is a lifesaver. And it's just really soothing as well. It tastes amazing.
So what are we up to now then, Sophie?
So I'm just making the sandwiches. This is on the gluten-free bread that I showed you in Waitrose. And actually it's been a blessing because I've been watching some YouTube videos on creating the perfect afternoon tea, and I've been giving myself anxiety about how to create these tea sandwiches with a perfect cut. And the good thing about this bread is it cuts really neatly. Like these are the ones that I did already. Okay, they might not be like Claridge's standards. So again, disclaimer, this is not about the perfect tea, this is about an easy tea. But I'm really happy with how they've come out, and actually, as I'm making this, I'm thinking I cannot wait to sit down and eat these. You can't have a summer gathering without strawberries, and these ones taste so good. I just had a sneaky taste as I was washing them. If anyone has any good tips for like healthy but nice indulgent treats for an afternoon tea, please share any good recipes with me. I'm all ears. I feel like I learn as much from you guys as hopefully I teach some of you. So I'm always open to hearing any advice or good hacks that you might have. You don't have to be an afternoon tea purist. Just because it's been done a certain way for like almost 300 years doesn't mean you have to carry on doing it that way. Like, adapt it to what works for you and your lifestyle and your eating habits. So amateur hour, I bought double cream for scones, and just in case you're watching this and thinking what kind of cream do I need, you do not need double cream, you need clotted cream. But the good thing is you can whisk it for 3 to 5 minutes and it will turn into clotted cream. So I've only got a manual whisk, so I'm definitely earning my tea here by whisking this. I can see it's beginning to turn into clotted cream, which is great. I'm glad that we managed to rescue that. It could have been a complete disaster, but I obviously have some knowledge somewhere that I knew I could like whisk it and turn it into clotted cream. Actually, it looks really nice. Tea is served. Okay, that's a wrap on our afternoon tea video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I've loved doing this with you guys. I will link everything in the description box. If you like anything from the tableware, the crockery, or even my outfit, you can find the details in the description box. And if you would like to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, it's at Sophie Paterson Interiors. And if you haven't subscribed yet, What are you waiting for? There's lots more exciting content to come, and we'll see you very soon.